Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blazing bows and magic as well. Hey, hey, heroes on their way. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you all out there. Idle champions, you reset again. Idle champions. From Waterdeep to Icewind, head out to Chull or Shadowfell, hey, hey. Together we stay. Walk to the monsters, walk to the boss, walk to the right, it's never a loss, hey, hey. Bad guys to slay. Fighting forever against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, hit you all out there. Idle champions, you reset again. Idle champions.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gaarawarr's Guide, the tutorial show. I am the aforementioned Gaarawarr. Today we are going to be doing a revisit of an older guide, Gaarawarr's Guide to Blessings and Divine Favor. Now's the part usually where I tell you what moderator I have today, but I'm hoping my moderators are okay, because no one showed up. Which is probably also why there wasn't a pop-up in the game. Usually they handle all of that. So if there's anybody from CNE Games watching, maybe ping the mods. Make sure they're okay. Well, that means we also don't have a code, folks. The mods do the code. Oh, it's doing the left thing again? Alright, hold on. At least I know how to fix that. At least I know how to fix that. Bam. Bam. Full audio, folks. Full audio. Thank you, Knockout Panda. I appreciate it. No code currently. I'm sure eventually there will be a code, folks. There will be a code. That also means, though, as with the tutorial show, the way this works is I talk for the first hour-ish. And then I answer questions in the second hour. Unfortunately, until a moderator appears, you might want to hold on to your questions. Hold on to your questions, because I'm going to have to read them straight from chat once we get to the second hour. But we've done this. This is how we used to do this show. Well, not this show specifically, but this is how we used to do the guide shows. Is just you know, figure it out when we get there. Figure it out when we get there. And that's the way things are going to work today. That's the way things are going to work today. Let me do. See anybody? See, the problem is doing this so early in the morning. Nobody's awake yet, folks. Nobody's awake yet. CNE time. Is the background music loud? Hold on. Hold on. Is that better? Vallejo. I did just change my streaming software, so some of the settings may not have come over in the best way possible. All right, so let us talk about divine favor and blessings. That's what everybody's here for, I presume. I presume. The email I got was that this is a bushman. Yeah, Snobbager. That's because, again, if somebody wants to remind people while I'm talking, I don't have a moderator at the moment. And they're the ones that set up all that stuff in the background. So once one arrives, they will fix everything. We're going to talk about divine favor and blessings. So if you're new to the game, or if you're not, you just want to learn a little more, that's what we're here for today. The big thing with divine favor and blessings is this is kind of part of the core loop of the game. This is kind of the core gameplay, the way that the game functions, the way that allows you to make more and more progress just by playing levels over and over and over again. When you start off the game, you hop into an adventure like this, not unlike this one, and you push as far as you can, and then you can't push anymore. The enemies become too strong, they have too much health, you're not doing enough damage, and you're not able to upgrade very well because your gold just isn't coming in, because you're not killing any things. This is the time when you do what in the community we refer to as reset and try again. Because no matter how long you stay, I mean, you can try to stay for a while and you might get another level or two over hours. You might even get 3 or 4. But that's not efficient use of your time. So what you want to do is you want to come up here and you want to click these little arrows that say complete adventure. You'll notice underneath it says Torm's favor, and it gives you a number. It gives you an amount of favor. That's the favor you've earned on this run. Your favor comes directly from the gold you earn. So the more gold you earn in a run, the more favor you're going to get out of that. So when you go to reset your run, it tells you how much favor you're going to gain. And it says, based on the gold collected this adventure, and then it'll tell you how much you currently have. I have a lot. These numbers are huge, folks. Sorry. But this is how it works. This is your divine favor. So when you go to complete your adventure, you'll get your end screen. It's going to give you all your favor. And then you can go do that run again. And when you go to do that run again, you're going to have more favor. And that favor is going to equate to gold find. It's going to equate to gold find. So when you start your run again, say you weren't able to finish it, so you hop back in, you will have now more gold find up here. And every time you kill something, you are going to earn more gold on that level for that enemy. And that more gold means you're going to be able to upgrade your champions better. It also means you're going to be able to push further. Pushing further means you're going to earn more gold overall. You see where this loop is going? And when you get to the end and as far as you can go, when you reset, you'll have that will convert into even more favor. So this just keeps cycling. As long as you're pushing further in a run than you did in the previous run, you're going to earn more gold. That gold is then going to convert into favor. That favor is then going to be a bigger multiplier into gold find on your next run. And it's just going to go in a big circle. It's just going to go in a big circle. So this is kind of the loop of power. You're trying to get more. You're trying to push further each run so that you can get more gold, so that you can get more favor, and the favor lets you level up your champions more, etc., etc., etc. But there's one more stage here. Along with that divine favor, there are what is called blessings. Each campaign has their own kind of blessings. These are the permanent campaigns that we're talking about here, the ones that are on the left side of the map bar. I'll show those to you when we back out again. These blessings, and there's multiple tiers of them, they are ways that you can get more power, and you spend your favor on getting these blessings. You don't want to spend too much, obviously, because again, favor is your gold find. Favor is your gold find. But if you make sure that this checkbox is checked, you don't want to see it like this. You want to make sure that little green check is there. When you're buying favor, if suddenly you're going to spend a little too much, it'll pop up a little what the game thinks is a little too much. It'll pop up a little warning box and say, "Are you sure you want to do this?" When that box pops up, you say, "No, I don't want to do that," because that warning is actually set very well. It's set to a percentage of your overall favor that you're spending. As long as you follow that warning, you won't accidentally overspend on your favor. You'll be trading adequately power for favor and be able to push further. You'll do that on each one. Each of these is a different purchase. And that's part of the thing. You do that when you start your next run after converting a bunch of favor. You want to come in and just click the little buttons that'll be here. Here, let me go over. Let me go over here. It's not as much too. You'll click the little buttons that are here, and as long as it lets you do this without a warning popping up, you do it. You keep doing it. Right? That's what you want to do. So, it may look like this, and you get a warning, and well, that's okay. If that's as far as you can go, you listen to it. But each one is gonna get you a little more power for whatever its topic is. And that again, that's going to help you, along with the gold find you just earned. That's going to help you push quite a bit further on your next run. This is your loop. This is how you idle champions. So if you're ever wondering, how am I even supposed to do this? If you found yourself sitting on a level and just trying to get more and more gold, and I was here for 3 days now and I just can't push any further. What's going on with this game? Well, please complete the adventure. Please complete the adventure. Get a bunch more favor. Go back and do it again, because that's how this game works. That's how this idle game works. On that topic, if you find yourself at a wall, we call this is your wall. This is usually your hard wall, where you've pushed as far as you can, you've upgraded as much as possible. You're just not making enough gold to upgrade anymore. You can farm a little bit. You can sit there, we call it farming, and kill things for a little bit, make some gold, and then complete. But you don't. Generally, the rule of thumb in the community is, you don't farm at your wall for more than 30 minutes to an hour. Because usually that time is more efficiently spent just starting a new run, and using that time to get back up to your new wall that your favor, your new amount of favor, will get you to, and potentially your blessings will get you to. So keep that in mind. That is important. You don't want to spend too much time there. Now, if you're going to go AFK for dinner, or you've got to work, or you're going to bed for the night, it's fine. That's fine. You can sit at your wall. It'll earn a lot of favor. You may even, when you come back, you may even be able to level up and push a little further. But ultimately, especially when you're a newer player, ultimately you don't want to spend too long doing that, because you're going to throw off kind of your push cycle. If you've sat for 4 or 8 hours farming at your wall, the next time you do a run, you're not going to be able to get and upgrading and going further yet. The next time you try to do a push, you're not going to be able to get that far unless you spend another 4 to 8 hours farming at your wall. So you can get stuck in this cycle, and it's just a really kind of inefficient gameplay. And this gives game. I mean, you could play your game however you want, ultimately. But progress in this game is usually based off efficiency. So making good use of your time. So keep that in mind. I see we have some new people in chat. I'm gonna give the disclaimer. Currently, I think we've got a mod now, folks. So I think all the things are going to be fixed. Don't worry. Mars is on it. Mars has come to the rescue. So Mars will fix the title, probably throw up an in-game notification, and get everybody a code, and they will start pulling questions from chat. But we're good. I appreciate everybody holding on to those questions for now. Once Mars chimes off in chat, then you can fire away. So those are the kind of the general basics at first that you need to know for divine favor and blessings. This is your core progress loop. It's the way. It's kind of this first of what I call kind of pillars of power. It's the first kind of real solid power structure that you're going to get for progressing your champions. You notice this more. You notice getting more favor. You notice the power that comes from blessings. Gear, like when you get gear upgrades when you're new, you don't notice that as much. It almost feels like a little smaller of a power boost, and other things. As you go along, there are lots of other ways to get power in the game, but early on as a new player, favor and blessings are your big boosts. Unfortunately, you will get to a point where, if you see down here, you'll get to a point where your champions don't upgrade anymore. If you'll notice, there's no upgrades available. That is what this circle with a line through it means. Nothing here, right? There's no more of these damage all champs or self-damage or whatever boosts. That's done. At that point, favor isn't going to do anything for you in terms of, well, not really. It's not going to give you that same kind of powerful punch that it used to give you. A lot of times we'll see these comments on Reddit or in Discord. They're like, I keep farming more favor in this campaign, but I'm not getting further. It's not allowing me to push any further. Well, have you reached the soft cap? Yeah. Well, okay. Favor's done. So there is a limit to favor until they raise the soft cap for champions, until they add more upgrades for champions, which they do regularly, or until they add more tiers of blessings, which they do occasionally. Because once you've gotten all the blessings and you're already at soft cap, then you need to find power somewhere else. So keep that in mind. There is a limit to what the divine favor and blessings will do for you. Anything above that is nice for other things, but ultimately it's not necessarily going to push you further. There are, of course, exceptions to every rule. There's an exception to that too, but we won't get into that for now. Okay, so when we come back, let's say we've pushed as far as we want to go. You've completed again. You want to keep in mind, these are your campaigns up here. These are your permanent campaigns. Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, well, not permanent. Well, kind of. Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, Tomb of Annihilation, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, Icewind Dale, Realm of the Frostman, and The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. These are the 6 current campaigns for the game. Each of them has their own divine favor. As you'll see up in the top right, it's going to tell you what your favor is. All the way over there, right? Each one's probably going to be a little different depending on how far you've pushed and how much you've done. Some might be at 0 because you haven't even gone there yet, right? And that's fine. But these are the places that you can earn and keep your favor. There are other ways to modify your favor totals. Time gates, when you run a time gate. So you'll notice there's no favor here, but while you're in a time gate, you can earn favor, which helps you push in that time gate. But once you close your time gate, it forces you to convert your favor into one of your permanent campaigns. This is another way to boost your favor in a campaign. It is a smaller bonus. I have a guide to time gates that you can check out, and it'll explain the bonuses for that. Also, every 3-ish weeks, usually we have an event. We have an in-game event, and it will show up here at the top above a Grand Tour of the South Coast. So, limited time event. When you do that event, each event has its own favor, and again, when that event ends, you convert that favor back into a main campaign. Because of time gates and events, they don't have blessings. So, they exist to increase your main campaign favor with theirs. And then also, once you unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat, that it has its own favor that you can use. It doesn't show it anywhere on this screen, ironically. But it has its own favor. And again, when you end a Trials run, it converts into one of these main campaigns. Okay. So let's go take a look We will hop back in. You know what? We haven't done. Let's do. Oh yeah, Terror's fine. It will do its thing in the background, and we will talk about each of the specific campaigns and their favor. So, Grand Tour of the Stone Coast is Torm's favor. This is the first campaign you're going to end up in. It is a unique campaign. I was talking about permanent campaigns, not really. All of the campaigns that you see that were on the left side there, those 6, they'll always be available in the game. You can always play them. You can always go do stuff in them. However, the outside of the Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, the others can finish their story. So, Grand Tour of the Sword Coast is kind of the continual campaign. It's always going to have new adventures and new variants added to it. That's never really going to stop. It's the other campaigns that are these kind of contained storylines, and they will eventually run out of adventures and variants. So the only one that is finished so far is Tomb of Annihilation. Now, it won't get any new adventures. It won't get any new variants. What it might get, though, is more tiers of blessings, because one of the other systems in the game is patrons, and whenever they add a new patron, you will go back and do all the variants that were in that campaign with that new patron, and thus you may need more power to make that happen. So then they might deliver some of that via blessings. So if we look through our blessings list, each blessing or each campaign is going to have some kind of sort of similar blessings, but for the most part, it's going to try to tailor a little bit to what each campaign offers and what you are doing in each campaign. So Grand Tour of the Sword Coast is, you're doing all kinds of things, so it's got all kinds of stuff going on. One thing to note is there are 2 different types of blessings. There are local blessings and global blessings. They are not listed that way here. If you are on different platforms, say you're on console instead of PC, it may show them differently. The UI may arrange them differently, but know that these 3 here, extra training, speedy attacks, divine blessing, these ones that have lots of things to buy, these are your local blessings. So this is where the real strong power comes through, is in your local blessings. This one here on the right, that says something blah 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 overall campaigns. This is your global blessing. The overall campaigns is the hint that this is global. So it works everywhere. It works in Tomb of Annihilation. It works in an event. It works in the trials. It works in Split the Party. It works in all these other places that these won't work. These will only apply, these local ones, when you're doing stuff on the Sword Coast. Specifically in this campaign on the Sword Coast. Whether you're doing patron things or regular stuff, as long as you are on the Sword Coast campaign, these local blessings will apply, and they are going to be the large bonuses. You carry outward with you smaller bonuses. So, extra training, increased damage all champions, obviously goes up quite a bit. Speedy attacks increases your base attack. Now, speeding up base attacks in this game is more like you're basically going to help you give you wave clear. It doesn't necessarily give you more damage, right? In some games, attacking faster is a big deal. In this one, it'll give you a little boost to your bud, your base ultimate damage, for other things like fire breaths and ultimates, but it's not an outrageous amount. So it's going to help you get you a bit more wave clear, which is useful as you get near your wall. Divine Blessing increases the favor you earn from resets, so that's when we complete. Well, hey, that's fantastic. There's a blessing that helps boost itself effectively, because that whole core loop thing about earning favor, this is going to get you more, which is going to help you buy more blessings. The global for tier 1, these are all listed by tiers, is going to be double damage, so just times 2. Spoiler alert, folks. Every campaign, the first tier is a double damage bonus. That's just the way it works. See people saying expired code. Mars will check it out and figure it out. Probably something with the creation. It may take a moment. He'll fix it. He'll fix it. Don't worry. Tier 2 for Sword Coast. Again, it's always going to be like 3 locals, 1 global. So heavy hitters, this is increasing DPS, but based off their base attack cooldown, and then quick hitters does the same thing. So slow attackers get more damage, fast attackers get more damage. When you are initially buying these, you don't want to buy both because you're probably using one specific DPS. You're not necessarily using a multiple DPS. That's not how this game works. Usually you pick one DPS. What? Usually you have one DPS, and then you focus all of your power on them. So, when you're first doing this, when you're going through the Sword Coast, figure out what your attack speed of your DPS is. Only increase the one that you need. There's no reason to spend favor. This is important to keep in mind going forward. There's no reason to spend favor on something if it's not giving you a bonus. So if your DPS attack cooldown is greater than 4 seconds, put your favor into heavy hitters and don't spend on quick hitters for now. Fast recovery decreases ultimate cooldowns. That's super nice early on when you don't have a lot of item levels to do that for you. And then this is a fantastic one. So in my new player reference, which is kind of like a walkthrough for new players, you can just kind of follow along. It breaks down the game into milestones and gives you some easy progression steps, as well as leading you to guides from various people, including myself, on how to do stuff in the game. Gem Hunter, which increases the gems dropped by bosses by +1 overall campaigns. This is a big kind of first milestone. So usually when you're coming through the Sword Coast, you want to push and get enough favor to buy through the tier 2 blessings so you can pick this up before you bounce and go to other campaigns and do stuff there. Because getting this early on and kind of snowballing your gem gain is going to help you quite a bit. It's going to help you quite a bit. Okay, I think we've... Hold on, folks. I know everybody's really upset about the code. I think you can just be patient and people will take care of it. Let's see. All right, yeah, it's with an exclamation point now, folks. So let me do that. It is now fixed, I believe, in chat. Yeah, it's now fixed in chat. Let me add it to the overlay, so maybe everybody will be less angry. There we go. Okay. So early on as a brand new player, making your way through Grand Tour to get the Gem Hunter bonus is a good first target for global blessings. More gems allow you to buy more chests. More chests give you gear and potions. Gear is more power. More power lets you push further. It's just a nice little cycle. When you bounce back though, tier 3. The globals, it starts getting about globals here. Less distracted. Distractions drop 25% more gold overall campaigns. Probably one of the more disappointing globals in the game. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It just doesn't feel great. But it is what it is. Not all globals are made equal. Additional training, you get more damage all champions. You get another base attack cooldown, but only if your champions are in the front 2 columns. They're going to attack faster. They start getting real specific about the base attack cooldowns here. Well geared, increased damage of champions with 6 pieces of equipment. It can be any rarities, right? So they're giving you lots of bonuses, but they're tying it to your progress and how you're building your formation. So you have to these are things to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out, like, well, where am I placing certain people in my formation? What kind of progress should we do, etc. All right, hold the line. Increase the damage of champions in the center column. So this is informing you that when you finally start pumping lots of stuff into this blessing, that you kind of want your DPS in the center column, and you're gonna have to try to make that work. Depending on what tanks you have, it may not work. So this is one where you have to be informed about Should I try to go for this blessing, or is that going to really screw up my formation by making me lose an ability bonus from somebody else? That's what you want to keep in mind. Lead from behind, another base attack cooldown. Recruit Dritz. That's right, folks. Dritz Do'Urden is available in the game. He is what's called an evergreen unlock. So that means you play through the Sword Coast and you just unlock him by playing the game. They have a blessing that's going to help. It does increase the damage of all champions, but it also gives Dritz, who is a DPS, more damage as well. So Dritz gets to double dip here with this bonus. Make him a little more viable if you want to try to use him as a DPS because you like him. And then Start Strong the Global. This is a much sought after one early on in the game. Start all events with 2,500 more event tokens. If you've played through an event already, you know that tokens are the gate to progress. They are what lets you start adventures and variants in events and run free plays. So starting out right away, since tokens are usually only earned over time, you get one every 25 seconds, it'll drop in the game. Starting off with some and just being able to jump right into event runs when the event opens, it's really nice. Really nice. And then the final tier currently for Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, we get, again, more damage all champions. We get attack speed. And they have this one, by the time you get here, it means that they have increased attack speed in every column. So by the time you get down here, it's like, well, yeah, everybody's attacking faster. And then they get specifically into certain racial bonuses. So dwarves, elves, halflings, and humans can get 1,500%. So they're like, well, if you happen to be running that as your DPS here, there you go. They're trying to push it a little bit. Keep in mind, elves, that does count for drow. Drow are elves. That means Dritz gets a bonus here as well. So if you want to run Sword Coast and you want to do Companions of the Hall formation with Dritz as your DPS, they're giving you some bonuses for that. And then the final global, Patron's Favor, increases the damage of champions while on patron variants by 100% over all campaigns. This is more of a mid-game bonus, so again, it's not. You don't have to run and try to max out all your blessings when you first do Sword Coast. You really just need to kind of get to Gem Hunter and then hop to other places. But eventually you're going to get things. You can find bonuses that are very specific to your method of progress as you progress. The second campaign, I do recommend doing campaigns in order. Never Borderline. Thank you for all the gift subs. Much appreciated. If you got a gift sub in chat, make sure you thank Never Borderline. So Tomb of Annihilation, I recommend doing the campaigns in order. It's a very straightforward progression, and each one kind of feeds into the next one, and they get harder as you go down the list. They get more difficult. So the time you spend getting global blessings, but also powering up your champions with gear and etc., it's going to help you progress in the later ones. So if you've tried to skip around and it's been really difficult, that's why. Tomb of Annihilation, the easiest campaign in the game, easier even than the Sword Coast, and the reason for that is the blessings that it offers. The blessings that it offers snowball your progress real big. They just kind of feed back into themselves and give you everything you want. And it's kind of encapsulated here in Tier 1. We get a lot more damage, 2,000% to max this out. You get a lot more gold, another 200% of gold. Withering Away decreases the health of all undead monsters by 5%, so a total of 75% less health. Guess what, folks? Tomb of Annihilation. Lots of undead, so they're making everything easier for you. And again, of course, you get the ubiquitous double damage. As you go along, we get some attack cooldown based off where you're placed in the formation. You can buff the damage of either female or male champions. So again, you're going to want to pick one or the other of these and level up whichever one that you're using for your DPS. Once you get down to the point where you're now putting stuff into Tier 3, then you can come back and usually max these out, or Tier 4, easily max these out so that it's there whenever you need it. But early on, don't spend on both. Pick the one that you're using the DPS for, right? If you're running a Shard DPS, you do the middle one, you ignore this one. Temporary Worship. This is going to give you more favor. Hey, great. But it's gained from resetting in event campaigns. Oh, so basically it means when you're doing events, you're going to get more favor. It's going to make your event runs easier. It's going to make them, because you're the next run after you reset, you're going to have a lot more favor than you started. And then when the event ends, you can convert that back into the campaign of your choice. Usually I recommend whatever campaign you're actively working on. And that means you're going to get a lot more favor in that campaign too. So this is boosting. It does end up boosting favor lots of ways. It just starts off by doing it in events. Mars coming in with the gift subs. Thank you, Mars. Tomb of Annihilation Tier 3 blessings. Global impact, so again, more just damage all champions. Fall back is it increases damage in the rearmost column. This one isn't always useful. I'm just going to point this out. A lot of the champions in the game want to buff in the column ahead of them, and it makes this very difficult to use. So don't necessarily worry about this. This is one you can skip. When you're coming up, you can go Global Impact, and you can do Epically Geared, and then grab Golden Luck, and then you might have to put a few points here before you'll open up Tier 4. Each tier requires a little bit of the tier before it. More gift subs in the chat. Today's a gift day. Thank you, everybody. So keep that in mind. So here at Global Impact, just damage all champions. Fallback is the damage in the rearmost column. Epically Geared. This is based off how many pieces of epic gear you have. It is one that maybe you don't have to focus on if you don't have a lot of epics yet, but you're going to need to put some points somewhere to get Tier 4 to open up, right? So keep that in mind. You don't necessarily have to spend it all here. You can just do whatever you need to do to open up Tier 4. Golden Luck, the global, this is a good one. It may not sound like it, but it adds up. Increases the chance of boss chest upgrading to a gold chest by 2% overall campaigns. What does that mean? When you kill a boss in this game, like I did on the screen right behind this, they drop a bag of loot. And in that loot, there can be a chest. That chest normally is a silver chest, just a regular silver chest. But there is a chance for it to drop a gold chest. And this ups that chance by 2%, which isn't an outrageous amount, but it is nice. And then as you're just playing the game, you will loot silver and gold chests. And this helps to increase that number. So I do have this blessing. Since the last event started, I have looted 1,900 silver chests off of bosses. I haven't bought any of these. I've also looted 105 gold chests. So you can do your math. What is that about? God, I hate doing math on stream. Is that 5% chance? I want to say it's like a 5% chance. So ultimately with that, you've got about a 5% chance of getting the gold. That's just fast math. It's probably wrong. But that is something to keep in mind. That is a nice way to increase the gear you're getting for your core and evergreen champions. All right, Tier 4. Speeding along reduces base attack cooldowns. Again, this is for everybody, so that's nice. Top shelf increases damage of champions in the topmost slot of each column by 50%. So this is one of those formation layout, like how are you going to build your party indicators. You want your DPS with this one, if you're going to use it, if you pick this up, you want them in the top of that Tomb of Annihilation formation. That's a big triangle. You want them in that top, at the top of each of the columns, somewhere in there, right? To get the most damage you can out of them. Recruit a Zaka. The Zaka Stormfang is another evergreen champion, available in Tomb of Annihilation. This is a damage increase for everyone, and then a damage increase for her as well. Focus on the core is the global. It increases the damage of your core champions by 400% overall campaigns. Again, right now, Ashara is kind of one of the go-to DPSs in the game. She is one of your core champions, so this does buff Ashara. So that is nice, and it carries with you everywhere. Tier 5, currently the final tier. You get more damage all champions. Scouts gives you kind of the reverse of top shelf. It lets you then put your DPS in the bottom column if you want. I don't know why we're fighting over, like, just put it in one place and give us a bonus. But hey, now you can be a little more flexible. And then Jungle Brawlers. This is that kind of, this is class-based bonus. So Barbarians, Druids, Rangers, and Fighters get a nice bonus. And then the new one that we all really enjoy. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think we all really enjoy it. Turn back time. It gives you an extra time gate piece every 5 to 6 days when one drops for you on your timer. So instead of getting one time gate piece in that period, you'll get 2. It drops 2. So that means you can start unlocking champions twice as fast. Never borderline again. Thank you. More gift subs, folks. Today is the day. If you ever wanted a sub to the CNA Games channel, apparently you're just getting it gifted to you. Helm's Favor is coming from Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So after you finish your travails in Tomb of Annihilation, you move on to Waterdeep and start making your way through that. We start off again, double damage. Again, every time it's going to be double damage is global. Increase the damage of all champions if they're outdoors. There's nothing. I mean, this is just kind of, it's going to be there or it's not. So you can't really do anything about this. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of damage, sometimes you're not. So if for some reason you're pushing through and you're clearing just fine, and then suddenly you hit this wall and you're like, why did I stop? Why did I stop here? Did you go indoors? It can create it potentially can create an artificial wall. It's only 1,000% damage, but you know, sometimes that's all you need to move forward, and it's not going to let you. Have Faith. Increase Helm's Favor earned from event and time gate conversions. So when you get here and you pick this up, I mean, again, you want to convert your time gates and your events into whatever you're actively on. So when you're actively in Waterdeep, this blessing is going to get you more of a boost, allow you to complete your campaign easier. Street hazards, just straight up damage all champions. All walks of life. They give you this multiplier for every unique race in the formation. Again, it's an accepted bonus. I wouldn't necessarily build your formation out of it. Just enjoy it if it happens. Comfortable in the city. Here we go once again with class-based bonuses: rogues, bards, and wizards. The best defense, you get more damage off your ultimate attacks while you're in Waterdeep. Deep Pocket increases gold drop by humanoid enemies by 25% over all campaigns. This one's not bad because you kill a lot of humanoids in this game. Like a lot. Like we should probably be in trouble for how many we've killed. So, you know, this is much better than the distraction one that I mentioned earlier. Classy Gathering, again, it's for each unique class in the formation, there's a bonus. Again, it's just kind of a, you're going to get it, don't necessarily build around it. The middle road, straight up damage all champions, but it's just if they're in the middle columns. There are a couple middle columns, so you know, there's a little bit of leeway in that layout. Frequent destruction, again, it reduces your cooldown timer on your ultimates. Super nice if you're progressing with ultimates or you're using them functionally and you want them back more often, again, but only in Waterdeep. Slow and steady. So this is the first cumulative blessing that you kind of get introduced to. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Increases the damage of all champions by 2% for every piece of equipment of epic rarity over all campaigns, and that's multiplicative. This is every piece of, as you can see my current count, now that they finally added that, thank you. Now I just need the total. Please add the total, CNE. Please add the total buff. Current count 540. That means it's not just counting what's currently in my formation. It's looking at every champion I own, and it's counting how many epic items I have. Well, I'm full epic on all my champions, which is how I'm at 540. And that's 2% multiplicative for each one. So as this is a blessing that gets bigger over time. As they add more champions to the game and as you fill out their epic gear, this blessing just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is a cumulative blessing. If by the time you get to Waterdeep you don't have a lot of epics on your champions, that's okay. You still want to pick this up. You still want to take whatever little bonus you can get, and just know that this is another reason why you're going to want to get epics on all your champions eventually, because it is another way of getting power, even if you're not using those champions. Yes, that means even getting epics on Rosie. Tier 4, many viewpoints. You get a bonus for each unique alignment in the formation. Again, they're going into these ones that these aren't necessarily things you should build your formation around because the bonus isn't necessarily worth it. It's just an extra thing you get based on whoever ends up in your formation. Think about it that way. Comfortable in the park, druids, rangers, sorcerers, and warlocks. And recruit Olcoria. Olcoria, Stone Marrow, is the evergreen in Waterdeep. So you get damage all champions, and then there's like a 10% bonus for Olcoria. It's real weird because Olcoria is not a DPS. So they just, I don't know. I think Justin said he wanted it to remain consistent, but I mean, that's just, yeah. Familiar faces increase the damage of all champions by 2% multiplicatively for every champion owned over all campaigns. So this is another cumulative bonus, but this is how many champions do you have? You know, this is the Pokemon Global Blessing. Got to catch them all. Current count of champions in the game, 90. I caught them all. I caught them all. So again, as the game goes on over time, this is going to go up. It's obviously, it's the same amount. It's 2%. So it's obviously not as good, and it's nowhere near as good as this one. But, you know, this could probably be tuned up a little bit. But, you know, they did another cumulative one. So, yay. Lead by example in Tier 5. This is damage of female champions. Increase the comfortable in the field of tramp. Artificers, clerics, paladins, fighters, and monks. So as you can see in Waterdeep, they're all about class bonuses. Which makes sense. They're keeping it classy. Street smarts, damage all champions, but again, in outdoor areas only. They like the outdoors, apparently. Splitting the party, another interesting bonus. Increase the damage of all champions by 2% for each champion in an adventuring party over all campaigns. For this, what you're looking at, it kind of has to do with the multi-party mode. So once you have done the adventure, split the party, you get an extra adventure, and then, or get an extra adventuring party, and then you do split the party too, and then you get a third. So you can have currently up to 3 different parties, and you can have, you know, up to 10 champions in each of those parties. So technically, this count could get up to 30. Could get up to 30. Am I quiet? Hold on. Hold on, folks. Oh, that's why. All right, this is about to get fixed. Warning to everybody who has turned the volume up. I'm about to get louder. Okay, that should be better. That should be better. I changed my streaming software for very good reasons that I could discuss on my channel. And so when I converted everything over, I had to rebuild all my stream stuff. The audio decisions did not carry over. So apologies. That should be much, much better. Okay. On to Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. This is what I guess you could say is the first really hard campaign at this point in the game. At some point, we may just consider this a medium difficulty. Think about that. But right now, this is one of the hard and the first hard campaign you participate in. This means a couple things. It's more difficult to push because of the health scaling on the enemies. I mean, you earn lots of favor, but they made the blessings cost way more. How do you know that? Well, let's go back to Kellenvor. My total to max out all the blessings, this is what this spent number is, E27. In Avernus, E42, folks. That's 15 orders of magnitude larger. That's a big boost. That's a big boost. I mean, this one, these first two, E27. Like, they went up a little. 141 to 8, right? 802. But then, boom, 42. Right? So it's going to be real rough. It's going to be real rough pushing through here. This is why I said you don't want to skip around. You kind of want to do these in order. Okay. So right off the bat, Southern Hospitality. Y'all come on down to Avernus, and we're going to treat you real good. Let me get you some sweet iced tea. Increase the damage of all champions. Right, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. Huddle for warmth. Increase the damage of champions adjacent to the hole in the descent in the descent formation by 50%, folks. I don't make the rules here, but this means that the hole in the Ascent and Avernus formation is a buff hole. It's a buff hole, folks. So make sure your DPS is adjacent to the hole. No judgment here. Like I said, I don't make the rules, and there's no judgment here. Increase the damage of all champions by 5% for every unique alignment in the formation. So again, it's not necessarily something you build your formation around. It's just a nice little bonus. And then the tier 1, as always, double damage. Tier 2, base attack cooldown stuff for everybody. Evil Incarnate, so evil champions get more damage. If you want to start experimenting with evil DPS, they're going to reward you for that in Avernus. Imagine that. And then damage all champions. Extreme patronage, so around this time you've unlocked, hopefully, 1 or 2 patrons. This global blessing is going to allow you to get more patron currency from their free plays. Basically, reduce the amount of time it takes you to get to that weekly cap. So it's just a way to free up some more of your time. It makes you a little more efficient. Tier 3, Burning Skies. You get more damage if the current area is hellish. Well, guess what, folks? You're in hell for most of the descent into Avernus. So you're going to get this most of the time. You're going to get this most of the time, and you're going to need it. Good always wins. So if you experimented with some evil champions and it just wasn't for you, well, now there's a bonus for good champions. Not neutral ones, though, like Ashara, just good ones. Doesn't mean you're not going to use Ashara, folks. It's just you probably still are. You probably still are. New Blood, damage of all champions for every event champion in the formation. Again, just a bonus if it gets there. Veterans of Avernus, increase the damage of all champions by 10% for every Avernus adventure and variant completed over all campaigns. It's another cumulative bonus, folks. You'll notice I'm at 174. There are not 174 adventures and variants in Avernus. What does that mean? That means this not only counts the regular adventures and variants, but it also counts every patron variant you do there too. So every time they add a new patron, this cumulative total will go up. I believe this one... Oh, man. I want to say this one's additive and not multiplicative. But I've forgotten. I've forgotten. This is why I very much like CNE. I mean, it was nice that they put the current count. That was nice. But where's the total buff amount? Just show me the total buff amount. And then people wouldn't have so many questions. All right, Tier 4 Blessings. Decrease the health of all non-boss fiend monsters. So it's just going to help you clear out all the trash mobs on the way. And there are lots of fiends. Again, Avernus. Lots of fiends. Gray area. Hey, there's that buff for Ashara. But only 66%, right? So yeah, it's not as big a buff as everybody else. Recruit Rhea. Rhea... I can't remember Rhea's last name. Rhea's the Evergreen champion. It's just now my brain's just not working. Rhea Mantlemorn is the Evergreen champion in Avernus. So again, it's just like the others, all champs damage and then a bonus for her. But again, she's not a DPS, so that doesn't mean anything for her. Friends of Nordom. A lot of people look at this and go, who the heck is Nordom? Nordom's a Modron, folks. He's a rather famous Modron. Nordom is Modron spelled backwards. For those who haven't figured that out, increase the damage of all champions in an adventure partying with a Modron core, whether it's automated or not, by 200%. So that just means that you have to have had a... you want to have a Modron core slotted right here. So you don't want it to look like this. No core, you want it to look like this. Okay? That's all that means. That's all that means. Why does it always go back? All right. So that's Tier 4. Tier 5. We get damage all champions. You get the Lost City, which is damage all champions while on an adventure that starts in Elturel or Avernus. So this basically means this bonus only applies in the Avernus portion, because there's a Sword Coast portion of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, right? That's the kind of the start. This bonus is not going to apply there. It's only going to apply for the hell stuff. For the hell stuff. Infernal side quests, damage all champions by 1% for each completed descent variant additive. I don't know if this one includes... I don't think this one includes patron versions. Again, this is one where it would be nice if we had a total, and we just don't have that yet. So hopefully a quality of life upgrade in the future. Trials of Mount Tiamat. Spoiler alert, folks. Once you finish the descent storyline, so the base storyline adventures in Avernus, that ends with Elturel's Last Stand. You unlock the Trials of Mount Tiamat. So this tier 5 bonus increases the total number of scales received for Trials of Mount Tiamat campaign by 10%. That's a big deal. Scales are what allow you to purchase legendaries, to forge legendary gear, and to upgrade it. So this is a nice bonus. Now, I do want to point out, because of the costs related here, you may only get into around tier 3 when you finish Descent into Avernus. Because of the amount of favor required to get through here, you just may not have the power to do that. You may be able to finish the campaign, but you just may not unlock all of this stuff yet. Keep that in mind. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But don't. Unlike the other campaigns where usually I'm like, well, you want to get all the blessings and then just blow through everything in the campaign. That doesn't necessarily work as well in the harder campaigns. Speaking of harder campaigns, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. So you go from hell, from the heat and fires of hell into the frozen snow and cold of the north. It's a shock, folks. It's a shock. So right away, again, global is double damage. You get damage all champions. This is wind chill is damage of champions in the back 3 columns. So this is, you want to put hopefully your DPS somewhere in the back 3 columns. And then they give you a bonus for the companions of the hall. So if you want to run a companions formation, if you enjoy the companions, they're going to give you a little bonus for that. May not necessarily make them viable, but it's fun. Attack faster. So base attack cooldowns. That's what you're getting. An assist from Oral, decrease the health of non-boss enemies, but only in outdoor areas. So just lets you get through the trash bombs easier. And then damage all champions. Again, costume party. This is another cumulative bonus. And it's the first case in the game where they've kind of made skins give you power. So champion skins. Before they were just entirely cosmetic. By adding this to the game, now they give you bonus. So global damage, 20% additively for each champion skin that you have unlocked. There are a lot of free skin unlocks in the game, so you don't necessarily have to spend cash. There are a lot of just either free skin unlocks or gems. You can buy them with gems in the gem store. But at the end of the day, it's not a huge bonus. 20% additively. If it was 20% multiplicatively, whoo, but additively, So right now I have apparently, I don't know how this happened. Mars, how did this happen? How did I get 100 champion skins? I don't feel like I have 100, but apparently I do. That's a 2,000% bonus. I know that sounds like a large amount, but it's really not. So you're gonna accumulate this just playing the game and spending gems and stuff. It's okay. It'll be okay, folks. There's only 3 tiers of bonuses currently in Icewind Dale. More to come in the future, I'm sure. So Wind from the North, damage of the champions in the bottom slot. So this is telling you want your DPS back 3 columns from up here, from Wind Chill. And then Wind from the North, you want them, the DPS should be in the bottom. Right? So keep that in mind when you're building. If you're like, I just need a little bit of power, and you realize you put your DPS in the top, switch them to the bottom, you'll get a little bit of a bonus. Well known, damage of champions with an affiliation by 50%. Do you remember when there was only one skin? Yes, Mars. I remember when they introduced the Jarlaxle birthday skin. And we were all like, hey, we're finally getting a skin. And then we saw it and we were like, you did what now? So affiliation tags are things like Companions of the Hall. Like when you hover over a champion that says, hey, I'm a Companion of the Hall, that's an affiliation. That's an affiliation tag. There's lots of affiliation. There's Heroes of Erois. There's the Heroes of the Plains. There's the C team. There's just regular Ak Inc. There's all kinds of affiliations in the game, so this could be a variety of different champions. Follow Light, damage of all champions in underground areas. Underground areas. That one scares me. Follow the light. That implies like head towards the light. No. And then we get another gem bonus here. So they go pretty far in to give us another gem bonus. Remember, we got one early on. I said that was one of the first things you should pick up in the game is the +1 gem bonus in Sword Coast. It's 2 tiers in. Gem Hunter, though, is 3 tiers in Icewind Dale, which is a hard campaign, multiple campaigns through the game. So by the time you get here, they're giving you some more. They're giving you some more, but it's not necessarily something you go for right away. And then the brand new campaign that we have is The Wild Beyond the Witchlight. It only has 1 tier of blessings currently. So when you see campaigns that have fewer tiers, that means they're newer. So they just haven't. They don't feel like you need the power that comes from the blessings to complete stuff just yet. Prismere Bound, damage all champions. Fan Out, champions in front or back columns, so not the middle ones. That's where the damage is going to come from. Feywild Medley, damage of all champions for each unique alignment in the formation. And then, as always, the double damage. All the rest of these up here are temporary. Favor places. Again, there's going to be no bonuses. This Maestra is your time gate. And then we go into, these are all events until we get to Bahamut. I'll have a conversion once I'm done. Bahamut is your Trials of Mount Tiamat favor. You can't convert favor until something's over, but this is what it looks like when you go to convert from, say, a time gate or an event or a trial. It will let you select one of these main ones. And your favor bonus, it'll tell you what the boost is. This currently I'm at an 88% boost. I've got to go get more favor. And then when it's done, I can convert as a multiplier into one of these. And you'll notice this one has in a parentheses, and these don't. What does that mean? Well, remember, there was a blessing that boosted conversion into Helm from things like time gates and events. Well, it counts Bahamut. Bahamut is effectively... trials run a lot like a time gate, so they're giving you those incoming favor conversions. It's going to get a bonus. So there we go, folks. That is Divine Favor and Blessings. If you have more pointed questions, toss them in chat. Mars is here to grab them. I'm going to take a short vocal break while we listen to some music. What are we doing? While we're doing Divine Favor and Blessings, so I believe this is Kelemvor's song from Bardic Inspiration. We'll see you momentarily, folks.
Welcome to the afterlife, now jump up on my scale. Tell me of the life you lived in all your many tales. If you tell the truth, you just might gain your divine right. But if you lie, I'll set your soul alight. This is not the end for you, death is but a door. Now that chapter's ended, let me tell you what's in store. Your God will set a path for you, but I'm their final test. And by your deeds I'll deem you cursed or blessed. Faithless or false, praised or lost, you'll get what you deserve and nothing more. When you're judged by where would you like to go? We have hereafter's hot and cold with grassy fields and snow. I'll weigh your heart, I'll judge your soul. Don't worry, trust in me, unless you practice necromancy. Death or life means not to me, but undeath is a scourge, a pestilence upon the living that should be purged. The zombie should avoid my wrath, no wraith my rage escape. And on my clerics pledge for me their faith. Faithless or false, get what you deserve and nothing more. When you're judged by Kelemvorr, death is just a part of life. It's not to feel or to evade. Now it's time to show your cards, see the hand you played. Faithless or false,
I'm supposed to rest my voice during those breaks, and instead I sing along to the song, because of course I do. Because of course I do. All right, we're going to dive into the questions. If you have questions, throw them in the chat. It looks like we don't have a lot today, but that's because we were holding them early on. I appreciate that. But Mars is here now. He will grab your questions and throw it in the document for me. So let me talk a little bit about, we're going to do the ones that are on topic first. So blessings and divine favor related. Dota 2 Norax. In regards to the speed blessing, I'm assuming this means attack speed blessing. How does that interact with Whittle's crispy ally skill? Is that what we're talking about? You mean tasty friends? Is that crispy allies? Is this what you're talking about? Because this is a whole different thing. So Dota 2 Norax, I kind of need to know what you're talking about. Are we talking about Whittle's attack speed bonus? Or are we talking about... What are we talking about? I need some context. Because there isn't a crisp... There's a tasty friends. That's going to help things spawn... Like, move faster through the spawn zone. But that has nothing to do with any of the attack speed blessings. And there aren't any blessings that are... speed related, other than attack speed doesn't really count, in my opinion. So let me know if you can clarify. I know that was like a while ago, but Firedale 2002. Someone up above had a question about the specific set of blessings you're talking about right now, the ones that are affected by the attack speed. Yeah, I think this is, so maybe this is trying to clarify. Does Whittle's ability that changes attack speed change someone's bracket? Ah, that's what we're talking about. Or is it based on the champ's base speeds? It should be whatever their current attack speed is. So if you're using Whittle with a high attack speed attacker, so someone whose number is really high, and Whittle lowers it, it should be in the other bracket. Should be. You should a lot, and that's because, you know what, sometimes the game doesn't do what it should do. Old Man Master. Oh, wait. No, we'll come back to that one, because that is not related to this. Yeah, we're not doing that. Tritinator, is it worth converting Event Favor into Torm, since I heard there won't be more content added there? No, Torm is the Sword Coast. There's always more content coming to Torm. I think you meant Kelemvor. Again, if you've already finished Tomb of Annihilation completely, and you have all the blessings, which you should have if you finish Tomb of Annihilation completely, then no, there isn't really a reason, generally speaking, to convert into there. However, once you unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat, and you start forging legendary gear, when you go to upgrade gear, it costs scales. It costs dragon scales, but it also costs favor from a random campaign, and it'll tell you when you forge the item. If we go over here to the forge, I will show you. It will tell you which campaign that is right here, current deity. So for me, it costs me helm favor and scales to upgrade this item for Ashara. So if I don't have enough favor, if I don't have much, I need to replenish it. As you go higher and higher upgrading, this is a level 9 piece of gear. Oh wow, okay. This is a level 9 piece of gear. You have to have a higher and higher minimum amount of favor in that campaign to even do the upgrade, for it to even charge you for the upgrade. So this is a way that they kind of put a limiter on how far you can upgrade any single item is based off your overall power for your formation and pushing and earning favor, right? So there may be a time where you do need to convert into Kelemvor, even though it's done, because you need to boost your favor so that you can upgrade legendaries, right? But that's a ways away, right? So yes, so there is a reason to convert into Torm, but it's just, not necessarily, or convert into Kelemvor even though it's done. It's just even after you've finished. But it's very specific. It's very specific. Dr. Scott Math says Veterans of Avernus Blessing gives 10% multiplicatively. If it gives it, or if it does give it, it would be a 1.6 million increase. That's neat. Yeah. I would like the totals in game. I think we've given this feedback to the developers before, and they're like, yeah, that would be great. Why didn't we do that? So it's on the list. I'm pretty sure it's on the list. Oh, God, everything changed. Okay. What does unique alignment mean on the cumulative blessings? So basically, there are... every champion has an alignment. It's listed here, like neutral good, chaotic good. Well, that was a neutral good. Lawful neutral, right? So for every one of those that is unique, like so, it's not going to count 2 champions that are neutral good. It's only going to count them once. It's going to give you a bonus for that. Again, that's just I think of those as background bonuses that are just like, hey, I get that for free without really trying, because you're not necessarily building around it. You're not necessarily building around it. All right. Doorbell Streams asking for new players. Could you explain the reasons you shouldn't reset your blessings to reclaim favor? We've had a few new players talking about the option recently, and it is kind of weird that it's an option. Well, the option exists for very good reason. For very good reasons. There are times, especially when people start, where they will not have this warning enabled. And they will buy blessings, and they will just ruin their ability to progress. And in a case like that, you do want to reset. You do want to reset, and then you want to start buying with warnings enabled. I guess they just didn't watch my guides. But you want to make sure that warnings are enabled. There are also times where warnings are enabled, but people will look at it and go, no, I really want that. I'm going to buy it anyway. But then they buy it, and then it's like, ooh, this really did just kind of screw me over. And again, you need to reset. There is another case. There are some very unique edge cases, though. Like if we remember, I came here for a reason. Start strong. Remember Start Strong, that tier 4 global? You do. I just talked about it like 30 minutes ago. Right before an event starts, because this only works before the event starts. Right before an event starts, if you have enough to buy Start Strong as a global, but it would zero out or come close to zeroing out, it would take almost all your Torm's favor, you do it. You do it like the day before the event starts. You get that Start Strong. The event starts. It triggers the 2,500 token drop. Then you reset your blessings and put things back to normal. Hey, 2,500 tokens for free, right? It just cost you a little bit of favor, but you can get that back. So that's kind of a situation where you would do this because, you have the favor technically to get Start Strong. You can kind of mortgage it to the bank to get some event tokens, and then you pay it off, with interest and right away afterwards. So yeah, that's one reason why you're going to be there's some edge cases why you want to be messing around with your favor like that. It's not as cut and dry as never reset. Are there any more? I don't think I care about resetting for any of the rest of these. Yeah, I think it's usually just Start Strong. Yeah. So there's your reason. As long as you've got the warnings on, 99.9% of the time, then you'll never have a reason to reset. But Start Strong is the one kind of exception to the rule. But you just got to remember, a lot of people don't understand that the warnings are working correctly, and then they try to make their own judgments, and maybe they're a little too new to make that judgment correctly, and so they give them ability to reset. Firedale, what blessings need to be purchased to grow such an awesome beard? None. It just happens. That's the same thing. Sympaticos, how do you determine a balance between keeping favor and spending it on blessings? That's that warning. That's that warning box. So make sure this warning is enabled, and then just buy. As if it lets you buy without a pop-up coming up and telling you, "Are you sure about that?" Then you buy them. Click right through them. The second that pop-up, like if I'm trying to buy through extra training and the pop-up comes up, then I nope out of that. But then I go try to put, some down here or here until the pop-up comes up for that one. You just try to click the boxes, and if a pop-up comes up, you say no. If it doesn't, you buy them all. You buy them all. It's really straightforward. It's one of the few straightforward things in the game, so enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. All right, going to go back to generalized questions. If you have questions, we've got room for them. Apparently, we've got plenty of time. We got about 45 minutes left. So fire away with questions. Old Man Master, what gold find characters would you use to start a time gate, not just a Zaka farming specs? So when I start off a time gate, I sometimes, I don't do this anymore, but when I'm on a new player account, I'll make sure I have Jarlaxle. I'll make sure I have Jarlaxle to start off, and then I'll build around that, like when I'm on a new player account specifically, because I'll use him as a DPS, and that'll give me, I can usually get him a good amount of damage, and starting at 0 favor, and get a good amount of gold. But then once I get to my wall, I might switch things around. But I don't build out like 100% gold find. Like I don't try to build out all these gold find champs. That's not. There is a balance you have to strike between pushing power and gold find. The further you push, the more gold you're going to make. Every time you progress one level, you're making more gold on stuff that you kill. Generally, there are exceptions, yes. But generally, that's the way you need to think about it. And there is a trade-off that can happen where you pull out those gold find champions like Jarlaxle, who isn't offering anything to your party other than gold find. He's not giving you pushing power, especially if he's not your DPS. You pull him out and you put in a champion that buffs and you push further. Now there's going to be a while where you're like, this isn't working. I'm not making any gold. Well, sure, you had you went up a peak with gold find, and then you drop down into a valley in your gold find, and now as you progress, you're trying to catch back up to where you were. And as long as you can push, as long as you have the power, you'll be able to push past that point where Jarlaxle was boosting your gold find, and you'll start earning gold again. It just takes pushing further. So you don't necessarily need to go all in on gold and gold find when you're starting a time gate or an event or even a new campaign. But it is nice to have a little bit of it at the beginning. But ultimately, it's going to speed up your progress through those early levels. But ultimately, it's about having a strong, powerful pushing formation that's going to get you further overall. I probably should have just turned reset on, huh? Probably gonna have to manually kill this boss. All right. So yeah. I know a lot of people like to use all gold find to start off and then switch. And I mean, if you want to do that, fine. It's just going to get you through the early stages faster, but you still need to switch to a pushing formation. And even if you go 50 levels without being able to upgrade any champions, that just means that, you were heavily relying on gold and not necessarily on anything else. But as long as you can continue pushing, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Oh, this wasn't a boss level. That's the problem. That and the fact that I'm using a really odd formation here that isn't actually super useful. That's better. All right. Slanum. Can Balos' Najim ability, so the Generous Djinn, and Strix's Haunted abilities stack, buff each other? No. Because here's the thing. Najim effectively should be preventing the death from happening. Strix, you want to stack lots of deaths. You would want to stack Strix's Haunted first, Because with Najim's bonus, you want to apply it, and then you don't want to let those champions die again at all. Having Striction in your formation would give one champion a death ward and help prevent them from dying, but it's not gonna, like, you would have wanted to have stacked Haunted before you then Jinn stacked, like put Najim's buff everywhere, and then ride that out as far as you can. But they don't necessarily. Yeah, not everything works together. And that's one of those cases. Landro 2. How can I get those pets that he has that and are not available in the shop? If there are familiars that aren't available in the shop anymore, one, check the gem store. They might be gems familiars. But two, you're going to have to wait and get them in wild offers. The wild offer system delivers things that are no longer in the store. So whenever they have like retirement sales, that's your last chance to just buy something in the store. After that, it's only going to be in wild offers. So you just have to hope that they come around again in a wild offer. Is it possible to buy Gold Hunter potions somehow? Occasionally there will be packages in the store that might include a potion of the Gold Hunter, but generally speaking, there's no other way to get that. They're usually cash potions, or they're rewards for stuff that are like in-game meta events, like the Trials of Mount Tiamat. We've been getting some of the major potions, like here, like Gem Hunter and Psychomorphic. You've had a chance to earn these here, but those are only things that come in cash purchases in the shop, for the most part. Do we win pets in codes? I don't recall off the top of my head that there's ever been a familiar given away with a code. Mars, do you remember a familiar with a code? I don't think so. They've given champions away with codes and all kinds of different chests. We had a click skin given away with a code. But I don't remember. Somebody in chat's the Mimic. No, the Mimic was the year 1 anniversary celebration reward. So Mars doesn't. He's not thinking. Yeah, technically the anniversary chest things are codes, but that's only how they populate them in the system. You've got to. That's not really. I don't count that. Just like a code that they put somewhere. I don't think so. Yeah. So we've had skins with codes. We've had champions with codes. Had all kinds of chests with codes. There hasn't been a familiar for a code like the way you're asking, in my recollection. Elson, are there Critical Role champions? Not the ones you're thinking of. These aren't the champions you're thinking of. Archon is in the game, who made an appearance in Critical Role, but he is in the game for his role in Force Grey, not for his role in Critical Role. However, we do have fan favorite Spurt in the game. Spurt, again, not necessarily a member of the Mighty Nine or Vox Machina, or whatever the new group is going to call themselves. But because they already had a solid relationship, obviously, with Wizards of the Coast, Chris Perkins is an employee of Wizards of the Coast. They were, they could easily reach out and go, hey, let's put Spurt in the game. Also, because we basically pitchforked and told them they had to, because they did an April Fool's joke of making up Spurt as if he was in the game and then put it out on April Fool's. And we were all like, oh no, you better. You can't do that and not put him in the game. So Spurt is in the game. That's the closest. Yeah. Me and a lot of people would love and absolutely lose it if they announce Critical Role champions coming to the game. But everybody's been asking that for the last 4 years. And I just, I like to keep my expectations realistic. I don't think it's going to happen. They are way too big of a juggernaut to have the time. They're doing so much, and all their own little businesses and things. I don't think they would have time to put their champions in Idle Champions. And yes, there is stuff they have to do to make that happen. It isn't just all done by the developers. Nooble76, I almost never hot swap champions during adventures and tend to brute force it. Will that prevent me from completing all content? No. It will just make it take longer. You'll have to wait for more power you'll have to get it in a different way than by swapping and doing the more manual play stuff. It's doable. It's just you're making a choice to voluntarily agree that you're just gonna have to wait for some stuff and do it when you have more power overall. Stormageddon 1958. Why do my 1 and 2 cores sometimes swap saved formations? I don't know what this means. You save a formation. You don't save formations to a core. So I'm confused a little bit by the question, ultimately. You don't save formations to a core. You just save formations, and then you can load them with a core. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going on there. And that may be something that you want to screenshot or maybe have a longer discussion on the Discord about, because I'm not really sure exactly what you're running into. Niscus, what's today's drink? Oh, as usual, I finished off some mango juice already, and I always have water. So no root beer until the afternoon. Vince of Venom, what's more effective to get more favor, pushing deeper or getting more gold? This is earlier when I was reading through questions, and I was like, that's kind of the same thing. That's kind of the same thing, Vincent. Pushing deeper gets you more gold. I think what you're talking about is like pushing deeper or just raising your gold find. And I think I just kind of discussed that in a moment before. Ultimately, if you're in the E30s, I'm hoping you have a Zaka, and you're a Zaka farming. So pushing as far as you possibly can, and then switching to a dedicated Zaka formation is the best of both worlds. It's the Porque no los dos answer. You push super far, and then you switch to gold find formation, and you Azaka farm. That's how you're going to get a lot more favor. Now, the thing here is if you're kind of running into the point where you're just not able to push further with your current situation, and Azaka farming isn't getting you more favor either, you need to get more power on your account overall. So you should have most, if not all, blessings by now. You should be working on getting all the perks from all the patrons. You should be working on getting your Modron cores fully epicked, like to 15 in fully epic flow. You should work on getting, full epics on all champions and raising their levels, like your level floor via blacksmithing contracts. Like there's all other ways you need to accrue power to be able to push further. And then you turn that into, Zaka farming and make more gold that way. Beyond that, it's conversions from events. Push real far in events is why should you just keep pushing an event if you already completed? Well, there's a point where you're not gaining lots of favor. You can't push further in your regular campaign. So you have to get those conversions from events. Like I can get into what I think Mars and I both finally broke, I think E50 favor in events recently. So that means we're getting a 500% multiplier on campaigns. So, we're basically taking a favor and multiplying it by 500% and adding that on and getting huge bonuses to campaigns that, we wouldn't have thought of before. That's how you push your favor higher in campaigns once you can't go any further. By actual pushing with a formation. Honda Hero, I'm getting red non-tags, not a number tags, on the playing field. What is that? It's a bug. NaN means not a number. It means there's some calculation resulted in a number that isn't a valid number. It's just one of those things that the game's kind of having errors. So restart your client. Should resolve it. I don't know if they figured out exactly where those are coming from. So there's an argument that if you're getting them, you could submit a ticket and maybe they'll be able to figure out. But ultimately, restarting is going to probably clear that up for you. Captain Luffy, how do you unlock the legendary forge? That is part of Trials of Mount Tiamat. So you unlock Trials and the forge at the same time, and that's by completing the last, like the story in Avernus. So complete Elturel's Last Stand. That's the last base adventure, story base adventure. Once you complete that, you unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat. Well, you unlock a few things. You unlock a patron, you unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat, and the legendary forge. But you have to do Trials to use the forge, because again, the forge requires scales. The only place to earn scales, in Trials. C. Briggs, when you reset patron perks, do you lose a small amount of patron influence like you do when you reset favor? No. That's a good question. No, blessings, when you reset blessings, you lose like 1% of your favor that you spent. Not a huge deal. It's a big deal early on, but not so much later. But that's because favor is infinite, effectively. You can always go out and earn more favor. Influence, patron influence, is finite. There's only a certain amount of it. So you can reset your patron perks as often as you want. It's fantastic. It's actually a good strategy. Before you max them all out, is switching between local and global, depending on what you're doing. Yeah. Xanthan, why does each patron have their cost increase over previous patron, but also boost the rewards by the same amount? That's because that's what they chose to do. Yeah. Because that's how they chose to do it. I'm not a developer or a game designer for Codename Entertainment. You could ask that question in Developer Insights, and maybe Justin, who is usually the designer, would have some insight on why they chose to do it that way. But I have no idea. That's just how they chose to design the game. Firedale, why do you use Birdsong in your speed group? It's a holdover because there's no one else better. It's a holdover from when I used to do Mad Wizard runs with my speed group, and this isn't even my speed group anymore. This is my speed group when I'm not paying attention. Speed group. But it's a holdover from when I used to use Mad Wizard, and you needed a fast attacker to get through the barriers. And Birdsong's a fast attacker. Browning Fish, if you open a time gate for a champ that's already in at least full blues, is it better to quickly grab the 3 golds or push to the wall to get favor to convert? It's my opinion that you grab what you can get easy. Time gates are a smash and grab. I decided this yesterday. They're a smash and grab. So you smash into the time gate, Kool-Aid Man style. Grab whatever you can get easily and then get out. So grab your 3 golds. Grab some easy silvers, and then bounce and convert whatever favor you got. Unless you're in heavy need, dire need of more favor. The issue with trying to do time gates for favor is that they convert at a lower rate than events. So they're 2.5% per every order of magnitude of favor. So EO1 favor is 2.5% bonus, whereas events are 10% per. So they're not as great for that. So it's more about just grabbing your gear, and to me, the favor is just an extra bonus. But your priorities may differ. Celtier, should I rush the second Gem Hunter as a new player? No. I'm halfway through Waterdeep. No. It's too hard. It's too hard. It's difficult. It's a hard campaign. You haven't even hit a hard campaign yet. Waterdeep's just kind of, it's a normal campaign, but Avernus is hard, Icewind is hard, so no, you want to grab the first Gem Hunter in Sword Coast, absolutely, but don't worry about the second one until you just naturally get there. El Ramon, I'm all epic on Evergreen gear, nice. Do I keep purchasing gold chests for shinies? Last few large purchases I made gave me none, so I'm not sure if there's something else I should be doing about getting gildings. Yes and no. So it's kind of going to be up to you. If all you really want is shinies, if that's your major priority and everything else falls to the side, then you would spend gems on silvers, because shinies drop chance is 1 in 1,000, and it doesn't matter what kind of chest. So you can buy more silvers with gems, and thus have better odds of getting, you're more efficient hunting shinies with your gems that way. A lot of people do that. I did not do that to get fully gilded across my core and evergreens, I continued to buy gold chests because I also wanted the feats from chests, and I also wanted all the awesome contracts and epic level stuff out of there for potions and things. I wanted all of that. And I was earning lots of silver chests just by playing the game. So I just let them accrue naturally, and I think I got full evergreen and core and evergreen shiny before I got all the feats. So, you know, it's up to you though. It's up if you want to go all in on shinies, then you're going to buy silvers. If you just want to slowly accrue everything and efficiently over time, I consider more efficiently over time than golds. Plage, who's a good first champion to spend your first 6 time gate tokens on? Just got Ayla in the free one. Nice. And I'm thinking I'd like to get Shandy or Human. Human, probably. Shandy's nice because she doesn't need gear to apply her speed effect. I will say that. But Human is OP. Decent buffer, but as you get gear and item levels, they kind of can explode with their speed and make everything super fast. So, I mean, either way, I think you're good. Shandy is a solid buffer as well as a speed champion. So I think your head's in the right spot. You kind of got some pushing power with Ayla, and now you're going to alternate and pick up a speed champion. I think that's the best way to do it. Just, you know, pick whichever one you want there. Don't think there's a bad choice. I just think a lot of people are going to go Human, but I think they're both good. Jezebel Marchesa. Oh my god, is that a Corgi familiar? Probably. Hold on. Where? Oh, yes. It's Pixie riding a Corgi. I don't know where that's available now. Did they put that in the gem store, or is it in the wild offers? I think it's going to end up in the gems. I think that was a freebie on Steam, which means it should go in the gem store eventually. Mars, does that sound right? Yeah, I don't think there's a way to get it right now. But eventually. Can Spurt trigger Strix's haunted abilities? Slain him, yes. Sir Dragon, I got a familiar off a Tiamat event die roll of 6. Was that common? The 6, specifically when it ended up on the Iris, that is the reward to reward Bahamut. I think it was Bahamut you got. The Bahamut familiar. It was guaranteed over the course of the 7 weeks of Trials of Mount Tiamat that you would end up rolling a 6. So, you think that one was epic? I think it was... No, that was Steam. That was Steam. I think Epic gave away ones that were already out there. I remember getting both. Either way, when they give them away in promotions like that, they're going to end up in the gem store. It just takes a while, like potentially 6 months. So be patient. Profits. Sometimes my core resets and the champions are all powered up with no problems. And other times it resets and I have to go in manually level them. I don't have enough familiars to do it on its own. If you don't have enough familiars to manually level stuff, then there's a bug that's leveling them sometimes, as it shouldn't be. Because here's the thing, automation, there's 2 parts to automation. There's familiars and your Modron core. Familiars do things like click on the field. They buy your champions and level them up. They fire off ultimates. They upgrade click damage. All Modrons do is load in the formation layout. That doesn't mean putting the champions on the field. They load in your save formation layout. They'll reset when you get to the end of the run, and they'll consume potions when you tell them to. So you have to combine familiars buying champions with the core automation to get them to load in and level up. So that part is that's how it's supposed to function. Whatever part of that is working differently is a bug. Sympaticos, is there a way outside of buying chests to upgrade loot levels? Technically, no. But the gear, the duplicate gear you're getting out of chests is only one part of that. Yeah, Mars, I know. I'm getting there. Blacksmithing contracts is the other way to raise them, but those come out of chests. So no, there's no way outside of buying chests to upgrade loot levels. It's just that there are two ways with those chests that you upgrade loot levels. Automatically via the duplicate gear and secondarily via blacksmith. Now here's the thing, and this is why you primarily, when you're unlocking Mert, you just want to open chests and not necessarily use blacksmithing contracts, because usually, or that early on, you're still relying heavily on your core and evergreen champions, and you don't want to use blacksmithing contracts on core and evergreen champions. They get enough item levels over time just by you opening up all those regular silvers and gold chests and electrums now. You want to save your blacksmithing contracts for use on evergreen or on event champions. Sorry, they both start with an EVE. Event champions that you're actively using in your formation. So I don't think you need to rush Mert. I think if you rush Mert, you'll end up not necessarily having, even though you've got the item levels, not necessarily still having the full formation pushing power that you'll need to complete Mert stuff, because it's hard. It's hard. You may also not have the bench to do it, because he restricts who you can use. Sir Dragon, quick pros and cons of Balos spec choice. Always the right one. And I don't mean that is always the correct one, although I kind of do. Always the one on the right. The show must go on. The reasons for this is the gen bonus is just huge. It's just huge. It does require at least one person having that gen buff on them. But as long as there's one person that has that gen buff on them, it's a better bonus. It's a better spec choice than the other two. Now, if you're not going to be pushing far enough for anybody to potentially die and thus get a gen bonus, you can choose one of the other two. I default to the middle one, but I don't know if that's better than the left one, because the one on the right is so much better. It just doesn't matter to me. So I tend to just always use the one on the right, and things work out. Gingerly, do two feats that bump the same effect by a percent and multiply with each other, or just add together? This is a good question. There's a part of me that wants to just say they should be separate multipliers. They should be separate multipliers. But I don't know that I've ever gone into the nitty-gritty of that math to make sure. But I feel like every time you add a feat, it should be a separate multiplier. That's one for the developers, or maybe the more math-oriented people in the Discord that have dug into that. Yeah. You know. Loggy, do giveaway skins end up in the gem store? Yeah, anything. I missed the Delana one. It looks great. Somebody likes the Delana skin? Yeah, go you. Raver Delana for the win. Eventually. Yeah, if it was a giveaway, it's going to show up, but it's probably like 6 months. I think they threw out the number 6 months in reference to this stuff at one point, and so now I'm kind of trying to set people's expectations that it's probably 6 months. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait a while, because that was fairly recent. That was just a couple of months ago. Yeah, the whole 6 month thing, I'm kind of worried if that's going to apply to everything, because if that applies to nerds too, then man, we're not going to see nerds in the gem store for so long, because that promotion doesn't even end until March, like the end of March. And if they have to wait 6 months after the promotion ends, I mean, we're not going to see nerds for, almost a year. Why you got to pick on the nerds like that? Why you got to pick on the nerds like that? All right, I think we're all caught up with questions. If I missed your question, if I didn't answer your question at some point, re-ask right now. Otherwise, throw me some new questions, folks. What do we got coming up in the C&E multiverse? Monday, the finale. Idle Champions presents The Trials of Mount Tiamat. be there, because it's basically two teams. Party 1 and Party 2 are going to be combining efforts to try to defeat Tiamat. That's right, Tiamat. Not a discount Tiamat, like in Mars's Battle Ball. The actual Tiamat. So yeah, that's going to be Monday at 4 p.m. Pacifically. I had to bring that up. Yeah. And then, and watch Mondays. They should post the rest of the streaming schedule for next week. What is next week's? Hold on. I've got to check. Keep in mind, folks, if you weren't aware, next week normally an event would start on the 1st, but there's no event on the 1st. They're doing a double content drop. So we had a content drop this week with 11 variants. They were dragon themed. And then on the 1st, we're going to see another content drop. They haven't said what it is yet. They just said it's happening. It's happening! That also means there's another free Timegate weekend coming up next weekend. The event will happen on the 8th. And, spoilers. They told us a long time ago we're getting a Heron champion with this upcoming event. So this will most likely be a C&E original champion that's arriving in the next event. And then things should be, events should progress normally for a while after that, because there's going to be, the C&E is going to take a couple weeks off. No one's going to be around in the offices. Content will still drop. They'll have that all set up to happen. But, expect slower support times. And unless a bug is actively breaking the game in horrible ways, I wouldn't expect a lot of fixes for that either. But that also means if a champion arrives and it's really imbalanced, it's really OP, we get to ride that wave for a while. I'm looking at you, Barrowin. So yeah, that could happen. I'm trying to think, what do I have as... Oh, next week's tutorial show. I'm like, what is next week's tutorial show? Oh, I can't say yet. All right. Being super vague. Firedale, any way to open chests outside of 50 at a time? No. I'm sitting on over 1100 and it takes a while. Yeah. I usually, when I'm opening chests, I'm usually like watching a stream or something, and I'm just click and listening to whatever's going on, and it ends up getting there eventually. B.A. Billy G. Is there an event next week, or is it a free Timegate weekend again? Wow. You're in my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. I'm not holding back. It's just I actually have... This is the one time where I have, in our planning, hey, Gar, you're either going to do this or you're going to do this. And we'll tell you which one that week. Okay. I'll prep both, I guess. And then I'll get told which one I get to do. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I was going to ask about events. Is there an event schedule? There are some fan sites out there that have event schedules. There's also, if you go to my my wiki page on the subreddit, right there, I do list out the events in the order that they occur. If there's a date for an upcoming event, it is an estimate, because again, sometimes they change it like they just did. But you can see the general order. You can also do it in game. If you hit A and you pull up the achievements, collapse everything. The most recent event is at the top, which means the one coming up is at the bottom. So Cymril is next, and then Winter Shield, and then Midwinter after that. So for Cymril, remember, we're in year 5, so the first 2 champions aren't returning. Dadius is not going to be your daddy this holiday season. Warden, he's not going to be your jailer this holiday season. It's probably a good thing. That means Krull is returning, and so is Lucius. And we will be getting the aforementioned Heron champion. So Krull, Lucius, and a Heron walk into a bar. That's who we're getting. After that, Winter Shield will happen kind of automatically during the holiday break. You will not see the return of Barrowin. You will not see the return of Neris. You will, however, get to recruit Artemis Entreri and Baloth, the Entertainer. Baeloth Baratil. So, you know, those are going to be some solid ones. And then, if I remember correctly, the spoiler for Winter Shield is it's a character from the Baldur's Gate video game, which I believe is either like the originals, Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, is I believe where that's coming from. So that's the way you can kind of tell in game, but it doesn't necessarily list out dates because that could change. That could change. Alan Kiss, do buffs adjacent champions or buffs non-adjacent champions affect the buff giver? No, not unless it specifically calls out that they also get it. See Zorbu. So Zorbu buffs adjacent champions and themselves. It's going to call it out if it allows. So buffs adjacent champions, only going to be adjacent champions, not themselves. Buffs non-adjacent champions, only non-adjacent champions, not themselves. Yeah. Firedale, does opening 50 chests at a time have the same chance at proper drops as opening 50 one after the other? Yes, it simulates it really quick. It just runs a quick simulation of opening them in order. You get all your pity timers if they're gold chests, and it checks, you know, it's going to trigger each one sequentially. It just does it super fast. That's why there's at times a small bit of a delay if you're opening large amounts of chests. Part is that simulation, and part is like if it's going to drop stuff on the screen, like with silvers, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Let's see. Harengon, and it's not even Easter. I know, right? Like, that feels like that would have been the time to drop a Harengon champion. That's okay. I don't always understand their orders. They're fitting a lot of things into schedules that are planned out months and months in advance, and, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, Harengon would have been really good at Easter. Would have been really good at Easter. What are people guessing? Oh, I think people are trying to guess the future Icewind Dale evergreen. We haven't had an announcement about that either. I don't know. I don't know if that's coming this year or if it's coming Q1 of next year. I thought Harengons weren't 5e canon until Witchlight. Well, I mean, sure. But Witchlight's out now, so now we can get it in the game. Maybe they'll have a Harengon C in the original for Easter? No, I think this is it. I think we get one Harengon for now. I don't think they're going to go all in on Harengon champions. I mean, I'm here for it, but... I'm sorry. It's Saturday, folks. It's Saturday. Yeah, there's the response in chat I was expecting. You're not sorry. I know I'm not. You know, look, you know what you signed up for. I mean, come on. You've Heron gone too far. Yeah. Oh boy. I don't think they're really into lore with the nerds. Look, the nerds are the only non-lore character, and honestly, Wizards of the Coast said, "Hey, we're going to run nerds promotions, and we're going to make adventures, and we're going to stat block nerds." So technically, nerds exist in Dungeons and Dragons because Wizards of the Coast said they do. Wizards of the Coast said they do. Yes, I'm appreciating all the puns in chat now. You're fired. No, I'm not. This is not the first time I've made a pun. It won't be the last. So this isn't even the worst one I've made. It's up there. That one's up there. See, Mars is joining. But that's fine. I mean, we're wrapping up the show anyway. So we're going to go out with some more songs from Bardic Inspiration. Well, one more. Which one did I do? Oh, the other deity, Bahamut. So we will go out with Bahamut. You should have just gotten at least, well, I had to wait until week 6 to get my baby Bahamut familiar. Do I have it on the field somewhere? No, I don't. Hold on. There he is. There he is. He'll go out there next to Tiamat. Next to tiny Tiamat. Yeah. So we'll go out with the song for Bahamut. Remember, streams return on Monday with weekly patronage, usually, with Lauren shows. Stay tuned to the announcements channel in Discord or follow the socials to make sure, because sometimes they'll cancel streams or postpone them, as they like to say. But yeah, that should happen. ICP, Trials of Mount Tiamat, also on Monday. How did I get the Bahamut familiar? Again, it's one of the roles. Go in the game, open this up, and go to week 6 to day 4. Like, go through each of the weeks if you did not do this already, and roll your dice. Roll your dice. Day 4. It's day 4 through week 6. Once it ends up with the iris on the top, you get Bahamut. You get the baby Bahamut familiar. Is there a Discord link somewhere? Yeah. Oh, yeah, they got it. They got it. All right, folks, we're on our way out. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all your patience early on. Thank you to Mars for grabbing questions. Thank you to C&E for putting up with my bad puns. We will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Shining beacon in the sky, guiding light to those who cry for justice. On platinum wings they fly. Their scares will form a shield, blade and mercy they will wield, unwavering till evildoers yield. Facing tyranny and greed, standing for the meek and free. From before the world was new, the platinum dragon flew. Here's the love of the North Wind, angel of the 7 heavens, king of the dragon. Bahama will fight injustice. Let's show him that he can trust us. How there's knowledge over gold, takes joy in stories told, grants his wisdom and blessings to the bold. Takes no pleasure in the fight, uses words to make things right. Through the darkness they carry brilliant light. Lift your hands up to the sky, 7 songbirds with him fly. Platinum wings will shelter all, if you just answer the call. Here's love of the North Wind, angel of the 7 heavens, king of the dragons. Bahama will fight injustice. Let's show him that he can trust us. Here's the love of the North Wind, angel of the 7 heavens, king of the dragons. Bahama will fight injustice. Let's show him that he can trust his weakness. He's in light and justice. Join all ranks and stand amongst us.